Phoenix traffic sucks. Or does it? Today, I'm gonna share with you everything you need to know about Phoenix traffic and how our grid system works. I'm Ryan Ayler, and with my partner Kyle Tyler, we are the Phoenix City Living Relocation Team. And if you wanna know all the hidden truths about living in Phoenix, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you are notified every time we drop a new video. And if you have any questions about buying or selling in Phoenix or the surrounding area, you can call, text, or email us at the contact information below. Let's dig into the traffic in Phoenix and the surrounding areas. And first, I want to lead off with an article by CBS News and the top 50 worst traffic cities in the US and see where Phoenix ranks. All right, so here we are, the worst traffic cities, and number 50 is Columbus, Ohio. I'm not gonna go through each one of these. I'm just gonna kind of skim through and we're gonna find Phoenix and just give you an idea of where we rank. These are the top 50 worst cities, and here we are. Phoenix is ranked number 43 out of 50, so really, that's not that bad when you think of all the other metro areas. Now, let's dig a little further and see where everybody else, all the other states rank, and we're just gonna keep scrolling here. You can pause the video at any point if you wanna see what the other cities, or maybe the current city that you're living in. And even Tucson is only 37, and these are for the main metro areas. You know, Dallas is 35, Charlotte is 34. Let's just keep scrolling. Pittsburgh 29. So we're actually not bad compared to a lot of these other big cities throughout the country. Denver, Colorado is well worse than us. Tampa's worse. Houston, Philadelphia, Sacramento, Atlanta, we're just gonna keep going. Baton Rouge, Austin, a lot of Texas. Oh, there's a lot of bad traffic in Texas. I didn't know that. Chicago, Washington, Miami. So, Miami's bad. All right, Seattle, San Jose, California, San Francisco, New York City, and number one, Los Angeles. I mean, that's really not a surprise. So that's pretty cool that out of all of those big cities, that Phoenix is actually not that bad when you compare other big cities throughout the nation. Now let's dig into the grid system. I personally love how Phoenix and the surrounding area is laid out. Everything's in a grid. It's very easy to navigate. And so if you see here on the map, everything is cross-sectioned, and it's very easy, like I said, to know like where you're going and how to get there. There's not a lot of windy roads. In Phoenix, there are some one-ways, so that can be something you have to navigate, but in all of the other cities, there's no one-ways. Like, you can get there and back on every street. And if you look, there is a very intricate freeway system that connects to almost everything. And so we have the 10 here, which is a very big carrier from the east side to the west side. And then we have the 17 going north and south. We have the 51 that is going north and south. If I scroll out here, you can kind of see where they are, and then they connect on the 101. The 101 connects up here, and then that can wrap around. And then if we go further out, we have the 303, right? And then if we come back this way, we have the 202. So on the east side, we have the 202 that wraps around the whole side of the east part of the valley and comes back around. So now we're wrapping into Gilbert, into Chandler. And then if you have the 87, which is really not a freeway, I think it used to be, but I would not consider this a freeway at all. It's just a major road that gets you into Mesa. But if we go a little bit further west, we have the 101. The 101 is gonna then connect into the 60. The 60 is predominantly just an east side, as you can see here. Anything past the 10, we consider the east side, and anything this side of the 10 is the west side. So the 60 is going to connect you, that goes down out even further to the east there, right? So it's really cool to see how all of these are interconnected and how it's very easy to get around. You can easily get around. And then we have some other ones here. Here's an older one, the 8, and then we have the 85, the 347, but the main one we're focusing on are inside the city here. And this is what I love about Phoenix, is that you can get anywhere on these freeways, and they all connect, and you can just hop around and get to different parts of the valley relatively easily. And then you'll just hop off and then go inside of these little blocks. So it's like, okay, I'm on the 17, I can hop off, I'm inside of Glendale, and then you can get back on the 101 or get on the 10. So there's a lot of ways to get around by utilizing all of these freeways and they're easy to get on and off. I've been to other places in other states, and it can be hard to know because everything is like a clover, or this one wraps into this one, back into this one, but you gotta turn left to go right, and it gets so confusing. It's pretty easy in Phoenix. It's like you get on to go this way, or you get on to go this way, and it just goes pretty much straight, other than if you're on the loop, but then you just stay on that loop and it just takes you around. It's really awesome. Same thing when you're inside and you're in these cities. Look, at everything's a grid. You're not having to worry about twisty, windy roads that you see a lot in the Midwest. You see that a lot on the East Coast, and you really don't know where you're going. It's just, okay, hop on this road, turn here, turn here, turn here. Now, when you're inside of the actual subdivision, sometimes you'll get a little bit of these windy roads, but for the main roads, it's all a grid system, what makes it very easy to navigate and to get around, and there's a lot of signage everywhere. So it's easy to see, okay, you gotta go on here to go this way, or go on here to go this way, and there's very few times where you don't see things coming up. Very, very few. Once you get used to this system, it's just so easy to navigate, and that's why I love the Phoenix grid system, and then also the freeway system. It's really awesome to get around. With that said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The traffic can get a little wild, as I use my son's cars here to show you, and it can get backed up. So here I'm on TomTom, and this is just showing us some real-time traffic, and this says, I don't know why it's in kilometers, but 10 kilometers is about 6+ miles. And so it's saying it's about 11 minutes to travel that 6+ miles. And you can see the high traffic areas and the jams here. And this is pretty much what I've seen personally, is the 60 gets real clogged up, and you have to watch out for the 60 here. And it's usually coming off of that 101 where the freeways intersect. Same thing where you have the 10 here coming into the 60, that gets clogged up. Let's see, not too much right around Phoenix. And let's see on the west side, not too much there. So if you're like already in the heart of Phoenix, it's not too bad. Look at that. It's not that bad. It's just on some of these transitions between the freeways, you're gonna get some of that congestion. So let's move on and look at some other things when it comes to the traffic. And as you can see here is the heat map of when traffic is the worst, and it's not a surprise during rush hour in the morning and the evening, and the evening is by far worse. And based off of this chart, Thursday at about 4 p.m. is the absolute worst for traffic in the Phoenix and surrounding area. So this just lets you know during these times, you want to avoid this if you can. If you're going to work and you're traveling, you just have to plan an extra half an hour or so to your commute, depending on how far you're going. I usually, if I'm going from the east side into Phoenix, or Phoenix into the east side or the west side, like I said, usually about an extra half an hour during this time. Some mornings can be a little bit different, or some evenings can be a little bit different. But if you look at the midday, if you ever want to go out for lunch or in the evenings, it's really not that bad. It's very light traffic. So that's one thing I do like about Phoenix, is the traffic can get bad, but it's not like California. It's not like Boston. It's not like New York, where it's just jam-packed all the time. There is relief. It's just during those heavy times where it gets annoying. You're going to be stuck in some traffic if you're on the freeways, but the streets are relatively, open. And yeah, that's a great thing about Phoenix, is the traffic really isn't that bad. And from my personal experience and driving other places, it's not that bad at all. The last thing I want to touch on is accidents. Accidents is a big thing, and it's something to be aware of. And if we look here, there was about 121,000 and change, and this was in 2021. And let's see, 86,000 of those happened in Maricopa, and Phoenix was about 40,000 of those, so a lot of it happens in Phoenix. And unfortunately, there are fatalities when it comes to the accidents, and that's just part of being in a big metro area. Now, I've driven in other places. I've driven in Philadelphia, I've driven in Boston, I've driven in the Midwest, and Phoenix, and I've driven in California. Phoenix is kind of a different animal. I find the drivers to be very aloof. They're not paying attention. There are a lot of fender benders. There's a lot of accidents, especially around like the malls and high traffic areas. So you have to have your head on a swivel when you're driving in and around Phoenix. Do not trust that somebody's gonna stop at a red light. I always wait that second to a second and a half when the light turns green, just to make sure, because people will blow through. I've seen a lot of T-bones happen because someone's running that red and then someone's coming through that green and it's not their fault, and boom, they get hit. A lot of turn on left. You turn on left, someone comes flying through. I never trust that traffic is going to stop coming this way when I'm driving in Phoenix. So that's just something to note. When you're driving your car in Phoenix, just be very aware. Don't be texting. I mean, I don't have to say that, we all know that, but just very focused on what you're doing, and don't trust the other drivers around you, because there's a lot of people that just aren't paying attention for whatever reason. I've been in worse traffic in California and in Boston, but it seems like people that they're not driving good, they're driving bad, but they're like more aware and they're more aggressive and they're dodging and weaving and they're not smashing each other as much from my personal experience. So just take that for what it is when you're driving in Phoenix. But as far as Phoenix as a whole goes, I love that the traffic is not that bad. I love the grid system, and I love how you can get around and get from the west side to the east side to Phoenix to the south to the north very easily using the traffic system. So if you have any questions about buying or selling in or around Phoenix, you can call, text us, email us anytime at the information below, and I suggest that you watch this video next.